And Melody. I know I don't want to keep it open though. Well, I have two of them. Melody, do you want water? I have one. I have an extra one. Melody, you want water? Melody. Melody. Do you want water? Do you want? Talked to her the other day, and she said, "They just dumped her. She doesn't know anybody."
Point of having kids.
I know, right? And they lived with her forever, and she paid her bills. I know. How do people? Yeah, I don't know how people do that.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
I hope you had a good week, and that you'll take a moment or an hour or 24 hours to relax, decompress, be grateful for all that's good in our lives. We're going to begin on page 121 with the kindling of the Shabbat lights.
These are good matches.
Yeah.
They're better to light you with, my dear. I try every once in a while.
Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Continue on page 126. And we say together, I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Continue with Lecha Dodi on page 138. We'll sing verses 1 and 9. On that 9th verse, we'll rise and turn towards the door and welcome Shabbat.
Not 2 and 5, just 1 and 9.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah. 1, 2, 5, and 9. Yep.
Okay. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'li tehila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoruri, Ki ba'oret kumi uri, Shir daberi, Kerod Adonai alayich nigla, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Tov emunei am segula, Boi chala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Chetzi Kadesh on page 144.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, V'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'yomechon, U'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, U'bizman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehesh mei Rabba mevorach, Le'olam kulam me'omaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitpaleh, v'yithalal, Shemei dekudesha b'richu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran le'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
We turn toward Jerusalem for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai ha'mevorach, Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach, le'olam va'ed,
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever.
Page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, ever-living God. May you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 151 at the top, or in the middle, rather. We'll read responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. Than this, holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha, page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ויאמרו, זה אלינו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב ולא מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
Page 161 in the middle together. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Vishamru, page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashmi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Every word of one's prayer should be like a rose that is picked from a bush. One gathers rows upon rows until a bouquet is formed and can be offered to God as a beautiful blessing. We begin our prayer, the tefillah, on page 164. We begin building our bouquet. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftahu fiyah tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur Ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Konei HaKol Zezocher Chasdei Avot B'imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibur Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatahal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Meini Tumechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atal Achayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh Kedoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Continue on page 173. Please be seated at the top together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. In the middle, together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Page 176, the Chatima. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el leodot. A prayer for peace, abundant peace. Page 178, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Betov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We'll take a moment for silent prayer.
יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
This time in our service, we want to offer prayer of healing for those in our community who are ill, for those who battle intermittent illness, and for those who suffer inconsolably in their hearts. And this is also prayer of hope and strength and courage to the caregivers. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah Hu Yivarech et HaCholim Dara Nodell, Deidre Geller, Mark Ben Ezra, Kelp Armstrong, Jerry Green, Phyllis O'Keefe, Jan Rudolph, Edward Leventhal, Jillian Cantor, Carol Rigler, Edward Kligfeld, Judith Karsavar, Michael Blivis, Gloria Sheff, Paul Nodell, Patricia Hoffman, Ami Prasad, Gary Lissack. Are there other names? May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal those who are ill, send a blessing of hope and strength and courage to the caregivers, because we are praying on their behalf. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived, and may God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and renewal of spirit.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So we continue to work through the first Mishnah of Pirkei Avot. At Sinai, Moses received the Torah and handed it over to Joshua, who handed it over to the elders, who handed it over to the prophets, who in turn handed it over to the men of the great assembly. They said three things: be deliberate in judgment, develop many disciples, and make a fence around the Torah. Tonight we talk about develop many disciples. Others translate raise up many disciples or educate many students. Unlike the priesthood, which was an inherited position passed down through the family line, the rabbinic class was comparatively democratic and merit-based. It was a hierarchy of merit and popularity that any man, and today any person, could enter as long as you were willing to devote yourself to study. Presumably, the target audience during the time of the Mishnah, when this was written, were the Jewish judges and officials who also took on students. And a prime example was Rabbi Akiba, who, with the support of his wife, proved himself a mighty Torah scholar later in life and raised up some 24,000 disciples. That would make him the equivalent of a social media influencer of his era. which was the 2nd century CE. But this teaching also applies to parents and other responsible caretakers. We need only recite the Ve'ahavta, V'shinantam levanecha. Teach them Torah's laws and precepts to your children. The purpose of an education was to pass on the truths embodied by Torah, because those truths hold the promise of peace and prosperity and justice in our world. But these truths are hidden within letters and words and context, such that they must be mined like gems. And so learning was conducted both by imitating one's master and by debating with a fellow student. In Chevruta, a study buddy system, one mind would sharpen the other like you might sharpen two knives against each other. And this is not to say that students didn't challenge their teacher or that teachers didn't learn from their students. And there were famous rivalries, Hillel and Shammai, and some ruptured relationships as well. The ancient rabbis were human, after all. In fact, those 24,000 students that Rabbi Akiba raised up, most of them perished from a plague. And the traditional explanation for the plague, the students behaved poorly toward one another. They did not accord one another or each other's views proper respect. They were haughty, dismissive, taunting, self-absorbed, and self-promoting. This brought on a plague that destroyed them, most of them. How similar or different is it today? Respect is one of the hardest values to teach and inculcate. Is it even a shared value anymore? And what is the role of today's teacher? A source of information? A cheerleader? A guide, akin to bumpers at a bowling alley, encouraging the student to roll, making sure that they don't fall into the gutter, or at least helping them if they do, helping them get out. Let's take a moment. Who have been some of your greatest teachers? Can you name one or two? And what qualities stand out about them? Was it their passion for a subject? Was it their compassion in the way they behaved or just presented themselves? Was it how they made you feel in the classroom? Did they help you see something that you couldn't see on your own? Was it their encouragement? Helpful guidance? Who was a favorite teacher and why? Anybody? Yeah.
This is Patricia Carvalho, who's my history teacher, my sophomore year and senior year. And she,
in high school or college?
In high school. She's the one who really pushed me to be a better historian. She pushed all of us to think and to be critically, not just check boxes or memorize facts. Think about things. Work hard.
Not an easy grader. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, Taylor.
In elementary school, I had a special ed teacher who basically taught me workarounds for my math disability that I still use today. And she was really the first one to figure out what would work for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah, Rachel.
Mrs. Gibson, my freshman and sophomore year English teacher in high school. She could make any story interesting. It was a gifted class that we had as part of a history class. So we did a lot of cross-reading, what we were learning about in history, and she had such a passion for writing and reading, and she was always looking to help people make it more interesting. I was her teacher's assistant for a year, and when there were students who were on the border between A and B, to succeed. She, and she appreciated that on her day, like English class in high school. But even so, she appreciated and she rewarded their effort. And that was something that was really special to see kind of from the other side. As much as I loved her class, she recognized the power of it. That was special.
Anybody else? Yeah, Bobby.
So growing up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, we had one synagogue, and it was Orthodox for the most part, but the congregation was definitely conservative. And women had no role. And I came along, and I really wanted to participate at a higher level. And our rabbi was a Holocaust survivor. He and his wife had survived, Rabbi Henry Zucker. And he allowed me to be the first bat mitzvah in that congregation, 1962. I had to do it on a Friday night, and it had to be a training book. Couldn't touch the Torah. Couldn't have it any other way but, with the training. But he went with it, and I appreciate it.
So the next question I have are, what are the different strategies for raising disciples and teaching the next generation? When we leave students to their own devices, thinking that they're being independent thinkers, what does that really mean? Are we not simply ceding authority to TikTok and social media influencers and AI and anyone other than ourselves?
I also think that, as I was never mentored in my profession, but I am mentoring people. And so I go about it in trying to guide people, but sometimes the best way to teach people is to let people make mistakes. Because you don't, and it's really hard to let people make mistakes. Because that's how you learn. Sometimes it's just searing, but sometimes but those are the lessons that you learn best. And I guess the thing is, the discretion is, where do you let people fail? Where do you step in and where do you step out?
Yeah, because when somebody fails, what are they experiencing that it becomes such a good teacher? Shame, maybe a little bit of humiliation, shame, or also like the burden of a responsibility that they've not met. They've let other people down. Yeah, Rochelle.
I think it depends on the person's mindset. Failure can either be all those things you said, or it can be a source of learning. It just depends on the mindset. It can be very hard to teach you. What I guys talk about doing a white ball, not to go in that white ball. Sometimes we need to actually how long things and be successful.
Yeah, I guess too, like, what are the consequences of the failure? Like, what's the fallout for it? Yeah, Seth?
That would be a good way to teach, though, is to make sure you inculcate into people that failure is not, is actually a learning experience. You learn from what you did wrong, not how you should feel ashamed of yourself because you did that wrong. So I'm going to do it for you instead. It sounds kind of like that.
Well, I mean,
mentor people.
I had something this week where and the person that I'm sort of mentoring, I told people I can't lead proposals anymore. It's too stressful. I just don't. So things got submitted within 12 minutes of the deadline. So it's going to be, she did, because I told her it's 10 o'clock, we need to wrap this up, and there was still stuff going on, but the experience of the stress of getting something in at 12, hopefully she'll say, let's take a look back and find what could we do better. But it was like one of those things that thing was due at 11 o'clock and she was having problems with her computer computer, and I was on the phone with her at like 20 minutes till, and she said, okay, my computer came up, and I said, I'm stepping back now, and you're going to, you're going to take it from here. And so, but it's something, I'm here if you need me, but you need to take it from there. So it's like, it's a really difficult to sit there going, because she's the employee and I'm the contractor. So it's like, so you have some of these lines of authority that are very blurred, but I still want to teach people. But there were things that I would have had. I would have done things a little bit differently and had things done like a day earlier than what was there. So that was my thing, is that.
Yeah. Well, and just going back to the shame, though, I mean, there's a value in Judaism called boshet, which is shame, shamefacedness. And it is a tool. It's a tool to learn from. Like, shame can be a positive experience, even though it's an uncomfortable experience.
There is a positive
side,
because it's like, from my experience, I don't want that to happen again, so here's what can I do better?
Right, yeah, exactly. It's sort of a self-consciousness that's good. It's a sense of responsibility.
Or like, I don't want to feel that ache in my heart.
Exactly.
It's like she said, after she said, me, goes, I need to drink it. I said, yeah.
Yeah. Well, lamenting a little bit about all of the social media influences, these more popular authorities often hold more sway than we do, and I think about that with our teens. Like it's like it feels like they're being independent, but who are they turning to when they're not turning to us or their parents or other known people? It's like, yeah, that's a new phenomenon we all have to learn how to live with and use. The 19th century Hasidic master Nachman of Bratslav, popular authority in our tradition, taught all people reach in three directions. They reach in to find themselves, they reach out to find others, and they reach up to find God. The miracle in the way that God created the universe is that when we grasp in any one of these directions, we wind up making contact in all three: inward, outward, and upward. So we here have 27 Sunday mornings to impart in a more formal way our heritage, to teach our language, our founding stories, key historical moments, Jewish values, Jewish community, and Jewish self-understanding. And we regularly question the best ways to teach and to learn these truths that Moses received from Sinai, then passed on to Joshua, who then passed on to the elders, who passed it on to the prophets, who passed it on to the men of the great assembly. And now we, by our lives, are in the process of passing them on to. Shabbat Shalom. Shehechianu moments.
We got the proposal in 12
Yeah.
It was before the deadline.
It was before, but it's really to help people. It's for the Health and Human Services for the CHIP, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program, doing outreach for it. So it's exactly the kind of work that I think is very rewarding, and that I'm trying to bring into the company that I consult with. So.
Wonderful. Well, any other?
I got one. My friend Melody's here.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. Welcome. Yeah. Jonathan?
My nephew Raziel finished high school this walk a week on Monday.
Woo! Excellent. Not necessarily an easy feat without, yeah. Wonderful. Where is she?
She's working for a physical therapy office.
Oh, wonderful.
I got another one.
Yeah.
My son and my daughter are together right now in San Diego. My daughter had a business trip, and so they spent the whole day together today, and she's leaving on the red eye tonight to go back home.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they had a nice time.
All right, let's sing it. Oh, wait. Sonia.
Amy and I have acquired a new nephew-in-law.
Right, that's right. Yep.
One more. I've got Connie's transferring over to Loudon, Nova Loudon, starting next week, so maybe we'll a lot closer.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe we'll run into her in various visits. Yeah. Okay, we've got a lot we're singing for.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Continue with the Elenu prayer on page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this life, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are marked and unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. On this Shabbat, during the period of Shloshim, we say Kaddish for Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lishensky. On the anniversary of their deaths, we say Kaddish for Robert Brayman, Edith Butterman, Abe Dubnik, Harold Fruitman, Michael Galanti, Arthur Heller, Hyman Morgenstern, Elaine Pitagoff, Joseph Schwartz. Are there other names? Zichronam Livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. And we recite Kaddish together on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol bet Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha, Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imru. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Osei shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Be the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. May be seated. I want to say thank you to Sherry for being our soloist and to Jonathan for being our board greeter. I'm going to share some announcements.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Just upcoming on our calendar, this Sunday, June 8th, is teen mental health training. That'll be at 10 a.m. here at BCRC. If you're a teacher planning on teaching next year or if an adult in contact with teenagers, please consider registering and attending. Details in the class. Remote Torah study with Rabbi Amy on Wednesday Live, help us raise $50,000 by June 30th. I believe we're about 80% of the way there, which is great. And this will fund our new BEMA and the ARC. You'll see construction starting this summer on beautiful Jerusalem Stone Wall going up this year. Religious school registration is open. I did mine this week. So please register if you have any students that will join the religious school. Moving meditation show tone has been canceled. We'll reschedule and there'll be a future announcement on that. And then later this month, Monday, June 23rd, June 24th, the admin office will be closed, but will be available.
Okay, thank you. Closing song, the classic Ein Keloheinu on page 626.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Please rise for the closing benediction, page 137. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God grant us the strength, the courage, the vision to bring about peace. Shalom. Shabbat shalom. We'll continue with our kiddush out there. It's in the blast. June 24th.
Is that the whole supervisor?
No, it's, David Reed was the one who, yeah, and so